Hey everybody, so it's time for another episode of NHL Picks of the Week where I pick 5 games from the upcoming week in the NHL. Before we get into the video, I just quickly want to remind everyone to please hit that like button and give this video a thumbs up. That greatly helps out the channel. And if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscribe button to follow along for all my hockey content this season and all year round. So, last week, a much better week than the week before. I went 4-1 with my picks last week, bringing my overall record to 8-5 this season. 2 weeks ago was not good, but we had a nice bounce back this past week, and we hope to continue the momentum heading into this week. So let's get right into it with some picks here. 5 games from the upcoming week. First of all, Monday night, October 21st, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Toronto is at home for that game against a much weaker opponent in Columbus. Don't think it's going to be a blowout game by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think Toronto takes home the win on home ice. So I am picking Toronto over Columbus on Monday night. Got nothing else for you through the middle of the week until we get to Thursday. We got a couple of games on Thursday I like. One is the Nashville Predators at home over the Minnesota Wild. Nashville, obviously one of the top teams in the Western Conference and in the NHL. Minnesota, I mean, they're just off to a horrendous start. And they look really bad. So I don't see Minnesota going into Nashville and beating the Predators on their home ice. I think Nashville takes that game. And also that night, we have the Los Angeles Kings playing in St. Louis against the defending Stanley Cup champion Blues. The Blues haven't looked all that great. Obviously, they played a lot of hockey. They went all the way through and won the Stanley Cup. So generally Stanley Cup winning teams are a little bit slower to start the next season. The Stanley Cup hangover is real most of the time. And St. Louis has not looked all that great out of the gate this season. They've had some really good games. They've had some other games that you look at and just go, oof, that was a rough one. I think a game at home against a Kings team that really isn't very good and greatly struggling to score goals. It should be a win for the St. Louis Blues, so I am taking the Blues over the Kings also on Thursday night. That in my mind, should definitely happen. So that could be a good win for St. Louis against a team that they should be beating every time. And then finally, the last 2 picks come from Saturday. First, I have Carolina over the Chicago Blackhawks. That is an afternoon game. Chicago playing on the road in Carolina after a long homestand for the Blackhawks. Their first game on the road really their first game on the road this season, I think, because their first road game was in the Czech Republic at the beginning of the year. That's not like a normal NHL road game. This is their first normal NHL road game. They've been at home for the past couple weeks now. Afternoon start against a very hot Carolina team who's been really good to start this season. I think the Hurricanes take that one at home and should beat the Blackhawks on Saturday afternoon. And then finally, Saturday night, I've got the Philadelphia Flyers beating the Columbus Blue Jackets at home. Philly's not off to a great start. They've kind of sputtered out of the gate a little bit. They've been okay, but they haven't been great. I think that this could be a good win against a divisional opponent for the Flyers and kind of give them something to kind of jumpstart their season a little bit and kick off from. And, that would be a big win. In Columbus, obviously we all know what they've lost this offseason, but they're still, they're not terrible. They're hanging around. Philly needs to beat teams like Columbus if they're going to move higher in the Metropolitan Division standings and potentially be a playoff team this year. These are the kind of games that Philadelphia have to start winning, and they've got a great opportunity to do that on Saturday night against the Blue Jackets. So those are my picks this week. Monday, Toronto over Columbus. Thursday, Nashville over Minnesota and St. Louis over Los Angeles. And then Saturday, Carolina over Chicago and Philadelphia over Columbus. We'll see what my record looks like this week. Hopefully it's as good as last week, if not better. I doubt I go 5-0. The NHL is so hard to predict. But another 4-1 week would certainly feel good, to say the least. And hopefully we're at least above 500. God, I would not be happy if these picks turn into an under 500 record. But anyway, we'll see how it turns out. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.